I would sing, "Won't you be my neighbor," but you know, I think that's already been done. Hang on, guys. All right, let's plug up the mic. We should just be just about ready to go. Da 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 da. Oh, that's looking the wrong way. Turn around this way. All right, here we go. Why do you have this shadow? All right, let's adjust the camera. But first, let's adjust the picture. All right, now let's adjust the camera. Okay, a little bit more just. There we go. Hey, Jane. All right, guys. So, we wanted to get started on this painting. We did the underpainting a few days ago. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paintings underway. So, all right, so let's get this one done. Most of those are underpaintings. Most of them are underpainted already. One's in a pencil sketch on canvas, but I haven't underpainted it yet. It's the boat picture that we put up yesterday. All right, so let's see. Let's get a palette out here. I'm gonna have to clean the palette off a little bit. Let's see, is that? There we go. That looks better. All right, we'll clean it off in a second. No. So let's oil up this canvas. Use my little oil upper brush. I haven't quite. I was looking at this yesterday and I thought, well, you know, I might want to add some more shadows to that in the underpainting, but I don't know if I will or not. I don't think so. I don't think I want to underpaint it anymore, any farther. Oh, I'm going to run out of paper towels probably before I get started too far. All right, let's start thinking about this. So our horizon line's set really high up in this painting. And hey, Anthony. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. I got to go get I left my trash can upstairs. All right, now we're ready. I hope. All right, so this is like session 10 of the Summer Girl. She's not reading in this series, but she'll be reading in the next one. May as well open some more paper towels before I get started. What's up, Anthony? So you painted some more flowers. Was that yesterday? It was yesterday, wasn't it? All right, so let's work on. Let's knock the sky out first. That'll be relatively easy to do because there's not very much sky in this painting. So we'll go to a filbert, and I got some phthalo blue here. I think maybe. I don't want a whole lot of blue in this because some of that's going to get covered up by that tree there. There's very little sky in this painting, very little. We still might even put something else up in there, like some more trees or something back up in there. All right. Okay. Most of the colors we use today will not be coming right straight out of the can. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I've been working at it. You know, I enrolled in Marion's portrait class, but I did that tiger painting first, and that kind of got me going on this underpainting stuff, and I'm starting to get the hang of it pretty good. Long way to go, but you know, you learn it as you go. All right, let's go to let's get the filbert, and I've got some. Let's put some yellow up here. Let's use some cad yellow medium to start with, maybe. And we'll stick with that. I think we'll actually use up some of that phthalo blue, so we'll mix this green color up over here on the palette. I kind of like mixing those colors. Let's start to, yeah, I think it needs to be a little lighter than that, though. Let's add a little bit extra yellow. Let's try that. Paint over this tree for right now. We'll come back and put him back in here in a second. Then we'll add some other weeds and stuff later. And we'll do the same thing on this tree over here. We're just going to kind of paint that in, cover it up, and darken it a little bit right there on the flip side of the brush in this corner. I don't worry about it too much because there'll be leaves and stuff in here, but I do want to have some of that in there. All right. I think we'll have to add a little bit of yellow to that, though. So, you know, like back in the day, Rembrandt and those cats, they used a lot of Naples yellow for highlighting instead of titanium white. And I actually first heard about that, lightening colors without white and darkening colors without black, from I think from Marion. Although I might have heard from Anthony too. I'm sure he's probably talked about that. So we got an art show coming up here in about 3 weeks now. So I'm trying to get ready for that. So this screen is a phthalo blue with some cad yellow medium thrown in. Darken this part right here just a little bit more. I'm going to put some more yellow back up in here. So Anthony, I don't know, you probably didn't see that discussion, but there was a discussion between me and the guys from Frederick Canvas about art relatability, and it was kind of neat in a way. But they were basically what they were saying. It was a good conversation. But we were talking about whether the art that you make should be relatable to the audience. Should they be able to relate to your art, or should you just do what you want to do? And and let the cards kind of fall where they fall. If they can't relate to it, well, that's their problem. And I was like, well, no, I don't know about that. And mostly because most of the art that I've sold, people have bought it because they can relate to a particular scene versus not being able to look at their scene. So I don't know about that. So we're just kind of glazing over this pretty light. Let some of that dark color show here. Probably should have put a little more darkness in the underpainting up here around that horizon. But now let's add a little bit more blue to this, and maybe a little bit of Payne's gray as we come in here under this tree. I didn't really want to work this far forward in the painting so fast, but it'll help me lay this. It'll help me lay this out, I think. There we go. All right. A little bit of a few rocks and stuff in here. A little later. Make up a little bit more Naples yellow here. Not Naples yellow, cad yellow. I was talking about Naples yellow earlier. Yeah, I've been doing quite a bit of underpainting lately. I just did a couple more yesterday. Set them up. This the last one that I did though was in gray instead of using the burnt umber color. It was sort of in gray. All right, I can work on that stuff there in a little while. All right, now let's darken this. I'm a little bit troubled by the road. We'll see. We'll see what we can do here. So, how's everybody been doing? I want to put a little bit of a hill in here. There we go. And I think, oh, I almost lost my paintbrush there. All right, let's got some color on the canvas. Now let's start to blend it some. Oh, hey, Bruce. All right, let's blend it. Let's use a fan brush to do that. So let's just start up here. So we'll get all this blended out where we want it, and then we'll go back and we'll do some taking off. Now you may ask, if you haven't watched me do this before, why would you paint over something like this tree or this fence over here? The reason is because we don't want to leave a halo around it. We don't want to leave a halo up there at all. So I think I'm going to modify this painting though. I don't like the way that. Let me think about this for a second. All right, now I've thought about it, let's change it. So we're going to change the painting from the underpainting. All right. First time we've done this, but it's good thing about Don't have to change your mind anywhere you want to go with oil paints, pretty much. We're going to push this paint around pretty hard. Let's do some changing. Let's get. Making a few changes here in the overall layout. It's actually a fairly drastic change, but it's okay. Wipe this brush out. Hang on, guys. I'll take questions here in just a second, in case somebody's asking any. There we go. All right. Hey, Shirley. Hey, Shirley. All right, let's put a couple little, let's put some clouds up in the sky. So we're just using tap this into that tree just a little bit. Let's put a couple of streamers. I don't know if streamers are going to fit on there too good. We'll see. Maybe. There we go. All right. That ought to work out. So it's like 100 degrees here today. It's just scorching outside. So I thought it was a good day for art. Push these clouds back into the sky. There we go. All right, now we can work on the other things. All right, so that's our big change. Not too big a change, but it's enough of a change. All right, let's work on. Let's do a little bit of cleanup, and then we'll move forward on some of this. So now we're painting with a Q-tip. Oil paints forgiving like this. Let's see. Let me change that road a little bit, so we're not going to mess with that too much right now. Let's deal with this fence. We're just taking the green back off with that underpainting. And that'll keep us from having a halo around it. Alright. Alright, I think I want to change the layout of the road a little bit as well. So let's do that. I don't want to change it a lot, but I do want to change it some. Just a smidgen. Come back and put some more highlight on this momentarily. Got a little more blue in there than I wanted. That's okay. Let's push some of that back out. Alright, let's blend this down. So the blending is, anybody say any questions? Alright. I thought there would be some questions from that, but I guess not. Alright. Okay, we'll come back over and do this tree, but let's go over and do this tree first. Once on the other side, we've pretty much covered up. I'll tell you what, let's do some stuff out there in the back, out in the background. Wipe that out and then blend some of this in. So we put another layer in here. And right here, I want to kind of close that out. There we go. Alright, now let's just put a little bit darker, something a little bit darker. Let's see how this looks. It could be a little darker. Okay, not that dark. Alright, here we go. Something a little bit darker right in here. Okay, let's put some sunlight. Well, let's clean the palette off a little bit first. So I'm using a glass palette. If you don't have one, let me tell you, I would like to recommend them to you. They're wonderful. You can make them yourself. They're super, super easy to keep clean. You just wipe them off with a baby wipe, or if you let the paint dry on them, you might have to wipe them off with a scraper, paint scraper, but it comes off really super easy. So, you just take a second and do that before we start mixing up some more colors. Alright. All right, let's put a little bit of highlight up there. Paint's getting kind of thick on there, so we're going to have to tap lightly around that edge. But let's put some white on the palette. And let's put some cat yellow on the palette. This time I think we'll move up to cat yellow. Light. See how that goes. Can you guys hear me okay? Because is everybody sleeping? What's the deal? What's the deal, man? Alright, so we're just tapping some of this yellow in here. Not a lot, just a little bit. A very light tap. Alright. Now. You probably can't see it on the video, but that brown underglaze is still showing through. It's right where we want it, so it's looking pretty okay. Alright, now we can work on that tree over there. Alright, so let's do. Let's see. So just tap that paint back off right there, what we had, and let's put some. We don't have any of this on. Let's put a little bit of burnt umber and a little bit of sienna on the canvas. I mean, on the palette. And then we'll put it on the canvas. But and we'll think about what we want to do leaf-wise. We'll probably just use some darks and some greens. Emily Jean, hey, are you home from the meeting? Are you guys, how'd the meeting go? If you're home from the meeting, tell me how it went. Tell me how it went. This is an angle brush. I just bought this recently to see if I liked it. Okay. Oh, the meeting's later? Man, I just can't keep your calendar straight in my head, can I? At least I know when you're working, usually. Sort of. Kind of. Okay, maybe I don't. If you guys haven't watched Emily's channel, Little Painter Girl, you should really do it. I'm going to get on her. She's been slacking off the last couple days, but she's going to bust out, and before we know it, she's going to bust out and just be like cranking out the art. She's taking a break for a couple days. She hasn't felt too good, but she'll feel better when she starts arting again. All right, so we're just taking some of the paint off of this tree. We're going to go back over that tree in just a second. So you can see the underpainting that we put down there to start with is still there. Emily's an acrylic painter. She's awesome. There we go. All right. You will. You're going to feel better. You're going to start feeling better, and then you're going to be like cranking out the art like nobody's business. I have faith in you. Hey, she did just crank out this. What kind of spider was it? Some kind of a spider on an acorn, on a wood burning thing. It was awesome. All right, let's lay some of this, little bit of this tree in. I don't think I'll do it all, but let's just get it laid in here just a little bit. So this is a little bit of burnt umber, which is what we already have in the underpainting. All right, we're just gonna lightly glaze this over. The underpainting went on really well, so on that part. Some darker features right along in here, and then we'll make some room for the highlight. All right. Back to the Q-tip for just a second. Kind of jumping all over the painting, but I'm going to settle down here just momentarily. All right, let's put that away. Let's get a different flat. Let's take this one here, maybe. All right. So I want to start creating some of the shadows on here. So we're going to do that with purple. Some purple. There's a small line of purple. On the edge of that brush. All right, so we're going to blend that. Jumping spider. I knew it was some kind of I knew it had like a name for the spider. Couldn't remember the name of it. Oh, I gotta tell you, the other night when I was talking to you online, I was paying attention to what you were saying, and I wasn't paying attention to anything else that was going on pretty much. And suddenly, across my iPad, here comes this little spider. I saw him coming across the floor, but he'd come up beside me, and I realized that, like, only moments before, he'd actually been crawling on me. I was like, ooh. And he was a little guy, though. I think it was like one of those wolf spiders. And anyway, he comes hopping over there, and he hops up on the iPad, and he runs across the screen, and it's like he's checking out on the screen. And then he stopped. He paused, and he did his foot like this. One foot, and then he did the other foot like he was waving at me, which was hilarious. But he wasn't real. I don't think he was actually waving at me. Anyway, then he turned around and went right back the way he came, and then he went on down over and went up in the fireplace somewhere. So I was like, what was freaky was that he'd been crawling on me, and I was just not even paying any attention because I was talking to you, my one-track mind. All right, now we're just blending this back out some. Okay. So what do you think? That looks pretty okay, doesn't it? All right, let's work on the road. Work on the road some. Kind of pulled the road in on this one side. I want to kind of keep it that way, but well, I'll tell you what. Let's finish up the tree. Let's finish up the tree first. Let's try not to be quite as spazzy as usual. All right, so I have a general idea about this branch. Let's go ahead. Oh my lord. Now I've contaminated my brush. One second. Let's try it again. Okay, now start thinking about tapping this tree in. Alright, so we're going to tap this in using a flat brush. You can use any kind of brush. You can use an oval brush or a semi-oval brush or anything. Doesn't matter. If you practice with the brush enough, you will figure it out. You will figure it out. Alright, so we're going to take some dark colors in here first. Just a little bit of dark. I'm going to start putting some other colors in here in a minute. Alright. I know, he wasn't out to get me. No, he was sitting there, and when he was like, I was telling her about it, she's like, yeah, that would not have been me and him. The spider would not have survived that encounter. Like, well, he wasn't bothering anything. He was just, passing through. And so he did. He passed through, went on his way, and that's kind of the end of the story. He didn't write. He never wrote home. He just went off to wherever, the great spider legion in the sky, and never saw him again. He was probably outside somewhere today when I was out there. Oh my God, it's so hot outside today. It's just hot, hot, hot. I'm going to tap a little bit of this green in a couple places. I'm going to tap this green in on this side of this tree. I'm not going to tap too much over in this way. I don't want too much down inside the tree too much. All right. There's really no, I had somebody write to me the other day about they were having trouble, they're struggling with their trees, and they were saying that they'd messed it up. It's kind of hard to mess up a tree. If you go out and look at them in nature, they don't, no perfect trees out there. Well, I guess they're all perfect in a way, but I'm just adding a little bit of highlight here. All right. So we're actually moving outside the tree to apply the highlight. And then we're just going to kind of soften that a little bit. There we go. Oh, Bruce is back. Hey, Bruce. So, Em, is Jeremy off today? Is he off? I mean, is he off tonight too? Does he get the day off? All right, let's start adding a little bit more shadows in here. We'll kind of figure out where we want these shadows to go. So we want a little bit of shadow right here in the middle. So we're back to using purple again. We're going to use this to bound the road. I'm just putting some color down here, and then we'll come back and work on it some more. There's a shadow underneath that tree. And I'm going to greaten this shadow here a little bit more. There we go. He's off today and tonight. Okay. Well, that's good. It gives him some time to come home from the meeting and either finish reveling in his victory or not. Those are hard things to win, aren't they? I mean, because usually by the time you find stuff out like that, deals have already been struck, and it's hard to slow that train down. It can be done. It can be done. Don't get me wrong. We're just pulling the shadow out some. I'm going to pull out too much on this side, but actually I think I'll do that with the filbert. So I'm going to do some blending with the filbert. I'm just going to pull it down here to keep myself straight. We haven't added the darker brown colors in yet, but we will. And this will have an impact on that. Alright, let's start adding some road color in here. Not a country road. Well, I mean, it is a country road. It's not a street. It's a road, man. Just a road. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to start off with this horizontal, sort of, kind of. But then we're going to switch up here. And if you guys remember in my covered bridge painting, we did the road kind of out like this. And I said then I wanted to, after that was done, I wanted to try something a little different on the next road, so we'll see here in just a second. I'll blend all that together. Alright, let's do this side. So I don't want to create a halo around her. So we're just going to kind of paint over her skin just a little bit with this color. Then we'll come back and take it back off. So find the dark first. Alright, now this is where we're going to change up what we did last time. We're going to blend this first, and then we're going to come back and put some grass. We're going to bring the grass a little closer to this on this side over here, but first we're going to blend this, so let me do that. I'm going to road out a little bit farther on this side. Into the grass a little bit. And we want the road shadowed on this side. Although we're going to tap some grass over top of that momentarily. Take some of that paint off. It's a little too much paint on there. It'll make it harder to blend here. Alright. Now, what I want to try to do is make some I'm going to change the stroke lines longitudinal so that the road pulling the viewer in. There we go. Like that. All right, now let's. Okay, now let's try to touch it up. I don't really want the edge of the road to be too even. So we'll pulls a little bit of that brown color out. Now we're going to add some, let's add some grass highlight in here. Well, let's add some grass first. Let's just put some grass in here. Let's blend all of that nice and soft. Let's see where we are. Hello, Bruce. Hey, Billy. All right. Let's switch and do some highlighting on the road. Switch to a flat. I think I'll use a large flat for that. We're going to blend this when we're done, but actually, I tell you what, let's change that stroke. Let's change that stroke this way. And just a barely light touch over here. Just all right. Somehow I ended up with this. Let's pull this on down, blend to get this halo out. Here we go. I guess I'll have to pull it this way to get the. There we go. Now it's coming. There we go. Okay. Let's do a little bit of details. Do you add green to your brown road? Well, there was some green when we pulled it across. When we took the grass across, but no. By and large, no. I added some purple. Added some purple to it. And I'm going to add some more highlights to it, so it might be eventually, but not as a general rule. All right. So we're just adding a little bit of yellow to this. I'm not going to shade all that in, or highlight all that in, because we still got grass, more grass to put in here. Alright, I guess we're about ready to do that. So let's clean some brushes, and then we'll do that. We'll put the grass in. The rest of the grass, and maybe that'll be close to being done with the grass part anyway. Let's see. We're going to put some... I don't know if I really understand your question, Bruce. There's no green currently in it now. Is there going to be? I don't know. Maybe. In my covered bridge picture, there's quite a bit of grass running down the middle of the road. Some country roads have that, some country roads don't have it. Same with my paintings, I reckon. I guess some of them do and some of them don't. Alright, let's see, grass. Let's try... I want to switch greens a little bit. Switch green up a little bit. So I'll actually put some green on the palette a little bit. We mixed all the rest of it, but we'll just put some of this in here. Put a few here and there. Put some here where that green is, where that purple went in. Add some more, give us some contrast. We'll put some highlight in here too, but alright. Let's add some highlight into this. Did that answer your question, Bruce? I mean, did I don't really understand what I don't think I had the question nailed down exactly what you were trying to ask me there, but I want to answer your question, so putting a little grass on this side. Yeah, we'll put some by the fence later when we get over there. Maybe I could put a little bit. Let's put a little bit like right up here near this tree, like that. Add a little shadowy kind of grass. There we go. And we slap a little highlight around that. And we can just let's pull a little bit of shadow into that. There we go. Maybe a little bit under here. A little bit under here. There we go. I think I'll put a rock or two in here too, right there, but we'll see. All right. Let's move toward the fence a little bit. Paint by numbers. No. No, 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 no. No paint by numbers here. All right, let's kind of start to work on the dark part of this. So I'm using the painting was the initial. Let me answer your question, maybe. Just make sure I can. The overall picture was originally sketched like this. Once it's sketched, it's underpainted using burnt umber in a technique called Brunei, B-R-U-N-E-I, and in the basically lay out most of the painting in the Brunei style, and then you let it dry. It takes a day or two. Usually it only takes a day. But it can also be done in gray. Hang on, I'll show you. I'll show you some. Hang on, I want to answer that question, so hang on. I've got some over here. So here's an underpainting. This is the way this one started off. You can see the remnants of it right there, right here on this fence. But this is a Brunei underpainting. So this was originally sketched just like that boat I just showed you. And then I painted all the rest of it in burnt umber. But it doesn't have to always be done in burnt umber. It can be done in grays like this. Really what you're laying out is all of the shadows and highlights where you're going to be putting them. And then you're glazing the colors on over the top. So in this case, I've changed a bunch of stuff in this painting. So there's some glazing going on, and then there's some just regular painting going on. So anyway, does that answer your question? Phone calls. Are you allowed to have phone calls? Okay. All right. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was working on this gray. So this is a dagger striper brush. I don't know if you've seen one before, but I'm not sure this is what I'm going to use all the way through for this, but I don't think it is. It's a nice brush though for doing detail work. We'll do some more here when we use the girl. It's called a dagger striper. It's used on for painting stripes on cars. That's its main use. I'm going to switch to a new flat that I just bought and see if this will work for me a little better on this small fence area. Yeah. So we're going to paint the first two boards and see how that goes, and then we're going to see how we want to do the rest of the fence. Because if I don't like the way it came out, I can just erase it and start over. Oil paint's good it's good about that. Let's paint this shadow in here. All right. I need a little bit more up, like right there. Okay, let's pick a highlight color. Let's pick up some white. And let's just use a lighter gray and see how that looks. Let's try that. Oh, got a lot of white. That's okay on this first board, but not so much on the rest. Okay. Any other questions? Just put them up there. If I don't answer them, Emily's on and Anthony's on, and both of those guys, they can pretty much answer almost any kind of question that you have. The guys are both brilliant artists, both of them. They paint in acrylics instead of oils, but they've been around the block. And they can tell you a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. When I was first sketching this in, I actually had to use a triangle to kind of get this fairly straight. I didn't want it completely straight because pencils are not really all that straight usually, for the most part. But all right, I think that's going to work. So let's just kind of. I'm going to go put the dark back in here in a minute. I might just do it one board at a time. Now, whether I finish this painting today will be remain to be seen, because it's a fairly long trip across this painting. Because we still got, we get all the fence done, we still got to do the girl. So I'm trying, as I'm moving down the fence, to move my whole arm instead of just my hand. Invariably, if you just move your hand, it'll pull it to one side or the other, depending if you're left-handed or right-handed. But that's okay. I'm not trying to make a photograph. So, not too worried about that. Except these fences are longer than this little bitty brush will hold paint for. I was afraid, like, when I do some of those paintings I've done with the girl in the wagon, there's quite a bit of woodwork there, and a lot of times I get the boards confused. Like, where did this board come from? So I'm trying not to do that this time, but we'll see. So I have to share this out later. I didn't share it today when I first got on. I was too busy getting on to worry about that. Oh my god, I'll fix this part right here. There we go. That's a little better. Alright, so we're just kind of using some Payne's Gray for this. Payne's Gray and white on this highlight for this fence. When I was preparing for this, I was trying to decide if I wanted to stream this or not, because I thought, it's kind of boring watching me paint this fence, probably. But I had several other underpaintings I could have used, but I just decided to go ahead with this one because this one was actually next in the queue. And then getting ready for the show, I'm trying to stay on task because I have a lot of stuff to get ready for the show. All right, let's just clean my brush off a little bit. All right, we're going to switch over to the darker brush. I wish I had two of those small brushes. That'd be awesome, but I don't. So we'll just live with it. My hand is not quite as steady. Well, I started to say my hand is not quite as steady as Emily Jean's, but she definitely has her days when she's not quite as steady. But if you'd see her paint, it's a miracle. She's so talented. Random thunderstorm? Uh-oh. Yeah, we're supposed to get one of those today too. I don't know if we will or not, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Not real crazy about that brush, but it'll do for you. All right. If you'd see her, some of the detail her and Anthony can crank out, it's just amazing. Both of those guys are just like, So that's Grayscale Painting and Little Painter Girl. Both of those channels, definitely worth your time. I skipped a board somehow. Let's go back and pick it up. Where did it go? Here it is. Oh boy, that's crooked. Let's straighten it up. All right. Tell you what, we're going to use this brush and see if we can straighten it up with this one. Which one was I straightening? I think the next time, because I'll probably paint this layout somewhat again. I'll probably maybe I'll tape this off in the underpainting and then go from there. I don't know. If I just wanted it to be straight, I guess I could do that. Chuck Black does it all the time. Another good painter. If you haven't watched his videos on YouTube, they're pretty good. Alright, so we got done here. A couple more boards to go. We're painting right over that stick that she's got, because we'll paint that back in when we get to it. We know where it is. And we're going to go back and add a little bit more black shadow, on a couple of spots on this fence too. But we'll do that when we get there. I get to see my daughter doing this with a stick. If she wasn't climbing on the fence, because she's just about as likely to do that. Huh. She's a wild one, that girl. And I don't mean wild in a negative way. I mean wild in that there's nothing. I raised her not to be scared of anything, and she's definitely not. She's definitely not. She's going to be leaving in October to go to Egypt for 2 weeks. I'm planning to strip now for a couple of years, so she's pretty excited. 2 years ago, she went to Rome and Vienna. And where else did she go? There's a couple other places, I can't remember. And some other places in Italy. But every day she'd send me pictures and I would look it up on the GPS so I could track her traveling across Italy. It's like, don't make me have to like talk to those people on the phone about I have a special set of skills. And as always, she's like, Dad. Okay. Now there's one more bright one right here. We'll go back and add these darks in just a second. So I did the lower part, but I didn't do the other part. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's add a couple more darks on the fence, and then we'll move over and start working with the girl a little bit. Although I think I'm about due for a break. Seems like I've been at this a long time. I probably haven't, but it seems like it. It's luck. Yeah. I understand. Alright, let's put a couple of rocks in. Let's see. We need some color here. Yeah, this color. Yeah, some more of that color. And a little bit of this color. We'll put a couple of rocks in, like. Let me add the darker color on the fence, the darkest color on the fence, and then we'll take a short break and start working on our girl. So let's get some purple again. Now, if you look in nature, you won't find too many places that there's a shadow that purple is not part of that shadow. If you're not used to looking for it, you might not see it at first, but it's out there. I'm just adding a little shadow right here at the bottom of the fence. Okay. Let's take a short break. Lost signal for a bit. Okay. Well, I was just short on taking a break by just a couple of seconds. All right. Let's think about this. I'm going to let's take a short break. I'm gonna go get a protein bar. I'll be right back. And then we'll come back. We'll think about maybe if we want to put like a couple of trees down here near the end of the forest, down this way a little bit more before we start working on the girl, or if we just want to go ahead and pitch in here and keep going. So we'll just rub some of this color back off her hat before we take a break, so I don't forget. Da, 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 da. I'll go through a few Q-tips in my life. Wendy's like, I just bought you Q-tips last week. I know, but I've already used those up. All right. I think that's pretty good. That gives us some space to work when we come back. And we'll think about maybe if we want to put some trees down there, or maybe a small building out there or something. Maybe. All right. So let's take 5 minutes, guys. Be right back. Give me a chance to step back and look at this. Yeah, that's not so bad. Okay. Sorry, I'm diabetic, so I have to keep my blood sugar up. And when I don't, Emily Jane gets hostile. She gets after me. She stays on top of me. Pretty good. All right, let's see. Let's do just a little bit of highlighting before we carry on. A little bit of highlight on this road. Just a little bit. Alright, I think that's enough. Alright, we'll start working on her. We'll start with her skin. So I gotta mix up the skin colors. So let's. Are you guys familiar with how to mix skin tones? Get it snapped. I know. I know. By the way, kid, my blood sugar was like 104 today. That's pretty good for me. All right. I'm gonna mix up a skin tone. I'm gonna clear a spot on my palette. We'll clean off all this blue and green and such. So, let's start with the shadows. I'm going to use this little flat brush. I'm going to need some you can use alizarin crimson. I'm going to use quinacridone magenta. Alizarin crimson, pretty much the same color, it's just not as color fast. So I'm taking most of the paint off this brush. So if you see, there's not hardly any paint on the brush. I'm just kind of adding some shading here and there. Start here, down here on her arm. Then we'll carry that color onto her arm. I missed a spot right there. There's some road right there we'll have to put in. I need to stop for a second. I use the striper to do that. It's right in here. All right. Well, that wasn't so bad. All right. Clean that brush. Okay, back to magenta. Or alizarin crimson, whichever one you're using, doesn't matter. So I can use the outline of the dress that I put in. And I underpainted it to let me know kind of where to put this magenta color. Because it's sort of a secondary shadow. It's not really the darkest shadow that we're going to put on here. Let's wipe the brush off. Picked up a little bit of that brown I put in the road on the brush. And we'll sharpen this brush in a minute, and then we'll put some more color in here. But now you should start to see some of the outlines start to come up. So we've got some shadow here on her shoulder, and there's some paint still on her shoulder too. So let's get that off. Yep, that's a highlight. Now, if for some reason you can't get it off with a Q-tip, if you can't go to rub it off and you can't quite get it down to canvas or whatever, you can take your brush and just dip it in some linseed oil and just touch it, and you can lift the paint right off. It'll come right off. So let's add this shadow up here under her sleeves, on this, under her hat a little bit. And kind of deepen this shadow here. I keep having to go to the palette because I'm carrying so little paint up to the canvas that I have to keep reloading my brush. All right. There's a little bit of swirl right there. So I have a new painting coming up. It probably won't do it till after the show, but I've enrolled in a portrait class. So it's not actually going to be a portrait per se, but it'll be pretty neat. I have this person who said it was okay, I could use them as a model. So the but if it's horrible, then I don't have to show her my picture. So I think that's what she said. I think she said that was what it was. All right, so I've got some paint right here on her fingernails. So I mean on her bent fingers. So I'm just going to take my brush with a little bit of thinner on them, not thinner, linseed oil, and pull those back out into the clear. So I'm just lifting the paint right back off. And I'm just wiping it on a paper towel. Clean the brush and let the brush pick the paint back up off the canvas. Because her fingers are curled right there. All right, now, I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to use a Q-tip though. Right here on this one spot. Because I want to put some more highlight. I want to put some more shadow in right there. Let's take that off just a little bit. All right, there we go. All right. And we won't have too much shadow on the leg, but we'll have some on this part right here. And some down under her skirt right there, or dress. I don't guess it's a skirt. I guess it's a dress. I'm sure if my daughter was here, she'd explain it to me. But, all right. So we got some shadow on this arm. Now we're going to go back and work on these shadows some more. That's where we'll spend the bulk of our time. Right there where our fingers are a little bit. This magenta is what's going to give us the warmth in the skin that we're looking for. Maybe just a little bit of shadow right here on her hat. Not too much. And then a little bit, just we'll let the undertone, the underpainting, keep most of that shading for us. We don't have to worry about it too much. All right, let me get the paint off here. Some paint on her leg right here. I got a little bit right there. All right. You clean the brush. Now we're gonna blend. So I'm gonna use this little brush. I think it's a nice soft little brush. We'll see if it might be too big. We'll find out. And what we're doing is, I'm trying to explain this. If this was one edge of the paint and the canvas was the other bit, we're splitting the brush right between the two, and we're just pulling it straight down around that edge so that you can't tell. So by the time we're done, hopefully you can't tell where one color starts and another one stops. And the more of this you do, the easier it gets. Just like anything else, I reckon. You see me take the brush away, I'm just wiping it on a paper towel. Now, unlike my last painting, this one I don't have facial features to deal with. I don't think I could thank Emily enough for kind of walking me through all that. It took me forever to get it right. And then I don't know if it was right or not when it was done, but it was done either way. But it came out pretty okay. All right. Now, I'm not doing anything really special for skin tone, so we're going to add some yellow to this. No, I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's go ahead and finish up with the shadow part. So I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. Keep that brush up. Maybe I'll use this brush. And I will use some ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue is an interesting color if you've not used it. It used to be so expensive. I doubt if I had lived back in the day, I would have been able to use it because it cost so much that it was reserved only for working on Mary's gown. So that's pretty expensive. All right, so let's put a shadow in here. So we're using this ultramarine blue just for the deep shadows. All right. That's got too much paint. I'm gonna have to take some paint off here. So I'm gonna get her finger tip, not her fingertips, her the lines in between her fingers just right. So I gotta take some paint off so I can put some paint back on. Alright, let's see. I think that's sharp enough. Alright, let's go with the, where'd the dagger striker go? Let's try this. Alright, so I'll move to a detail brush just to put these small little finger things in here. Alright, there we go. That's pretty good. I'll just clean that brush off and we'll just kind of. Alright. Then we've got a little bit of shadow on the inside of her hand. Right here. Tiny, tiny little bits of pieces of paint. Okay. And we got some same thing over here. Got a deep shadow on her thumb right here. Then we've got a strong shadow on this stick. Ah, it's so skinny. All right. Now let's blend all that. All that. We only put a little bit of stuff on here, but we'll fix it. So now we've created a little bit of a halo around her hand. We'll have to take that out before we're done, but that's okay. We can leave it there for now. A little more halo than I wanted on there. But we could probably leave it and probably nobody would notice except me, but I would notice every time I looked at it, so. drag the brush across there a little bit. Got a little bit of. I'm erasing the halo around the brush. Around the stick. All right, let's come along. I want her dress to be pink, sort of, kind of. Let's see if this will work for us. Let me see how that looks. That's the wrong brush. It is teamwork, isn't it? I haven't finished up her flesh tone yet, but I will. So let's see how this color is going to work for this. They're just glazing this on really light. We'll come back and put highlights on it in a minute. I already got our shadows in place, so that's good. Thursday, Kentucky State Fair is going on here, so Thursday we'll be going to that. Can't wait. It's always a blast. We'll go add some more lights and darks to this before we're done. You know what? I think I'll just paint straight over this belt. We'll come back and shadow that in momentarily. I love this picture. I love this pose. I can just imagine. She's walking down the sidewalk. It's summertime. Just a few more days before school starts. She doesn't care about that. All she cares about is just rattling this stick down the thing. Not a care in the world. All right. Alright, now we're just adding in some additional shadows for this dress. I'm putting down a darker color and then a lighter color over the top of that. And then darker again. Alright, let's add a little bit of highlight to a couple places, and then we'll go back and work on her skin some more. Try to blend this in as we go. Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm just kind of making this up as we go. See how it comes out before it's all done, said and done. A little more shadow back underneath his arm. And then... So I'm going to switch to the detail brush for just a second. We're going to try to mix it. I'll take this maroon and a little bit of burnt umber and put this sleeve marker in here. Now let's just blend that. Hopefully. Tell you what, let's use this brush. There we go. It's all about the blending. It's all about the blending. I think I want a little bit of highlight right there on that edge. So let's just right there. Okay, let's start working toward her skin color. So finishing up her skin color. We've got our shadows in there, and we should be able to do that. And think, I don't want to do this. I'll tell you what, let's start off with, let's just use this brush. Let's use this small flat, and we'll use some yellow ochre. So, we've put some blue on, we've put some crimson on, and now, picked up the shadow track right there. Now we're using yellow ochre. So if you think about it, what we've done, we've used all the basic colors, right? Red, blue, and yellow to lay in a skin tone. So you don't have to create a skin tone, per se. Use these three colors to blend up your skin tone. So nothing fancy, really. But if you struggle with skin tones, it's probably really helpful for you. And we're kind of blending this as we go. Just a light glaze on her hand. Now I do need to clean the brush, and I'm going to leave a little bit of thinner on that. I'm just going to lift some of this shadow off to create the highlight on her fingers. Just like that. One more time. I need to clean her thumb off just a little bit. So let's pick the color up off of her thumb. And there we go. Maybe a little bit more right there. Alright. Let's put some highlight on this here stick. So let's use some sienna and some yellow ochre. I think I need to be a little lighter than that. Let's add a little bit of cad yellow to it. Maybe. separate that stick. There we go. Alright, now for her hat. Now that I've made this really super cool color here on her dress, I didn't think about what color I was going to make her hat. So, think about that while I'm adding a little bit more highlight in here. I'm not a woman's fashion designer. I don't know what colors they would wear. Alright, well, let's go with it. So we'll stick to this color, except I think we'll add a little bit of light, more light to it. Now around this side, we're going to add a little bit of more crimson to it in the shadow part. Alright, I didn't get dark enough, but we'll darken it up in a minute. Now we want that side darker, even darker still, right here. And then maybe this. Alright, now let's add our hat band. A little band around the hat. Oh, you know what? I missed her legs down there too. Alright, well, we'll do it. We'll fix it. Alright. Okay. I'm going to blend that just a little bit in a minute. But first, let's go fix her legs. There we go. Maybe just a little bit of shadow, right? And then a little bit of highlight right there on her leg. Well, that's a lot of highlight, but it's okay. A little bit more right there. We still got to highlight all the rest of that, so it's okay. a little bit of work to do right there. Seeing if anybody had any questions while we was working. All right. Let's finish blending this out here. The last pull that color back out. There we go. Alright, let's put one more little highlight on here. And we'll finish up some blending. We'll be done with this. So a little bit more highlight right here on our arm. Just so it more closely matches the leg. Alright, now let's fix that around the road there. We've got that little halo around her hand. We'll fix that real quick. Hopefully, with a detail brush. Alright, one last little last things here. She has her hand curled, so there we go. Alright, I need a little bit more highlight on this side over here, so let's now let's blend that. And then I think we'll be about, we can put a little bit of highlight up above on the dress a little bit, I reckon. So we're just kind of touching things up. We just didn't put her belt in either. So let's do that. No, I'll do that with the crimson. Okay. We're getting there. Put a little bit of highlight on that sleeve, I think. Switch to a smaller brush though to do that. Wipe most of the paint off and then just kind of Now let's add a little more shadow right here. Just a little bit under her hat. It's kind of displaying. All right. A little extra. Yeah, I need a small brush, a really small brush. All right, we're putting the tiniest little bits of highlight here and there now. All right. Let's stop and take a look. What do you guys think? Is anybody left? Did Emily survive the thunderstorm? I think I need to blend this just a little bit right here. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think we're going to say this is done. Emily, you still there? Thought maybe the thunderstorm got you. You like it? Good. I'm glad. I was worried about the hat and the dress being off color because girls wear stuff like they do. Anyway, all right. Well, listen. Let me know how the meeting goes tonight, and I'll be thinking about you guys. All right, guys. Hopefully, we'll be back in a couple days, and we'll do either another girl picture for summer, or we'll do a boat picture. I got 2 of each, so we'll see what happens. They can be awesome. Okay. You can't let guys know that. That'd just be wrong. All right, y'all. See you next time. Bye.